Hey everybody, welcome to the Weight Loss by Pete podcast. I'm Pete Weintraub, permanent weight loss specialist, and today we're going to go over how to stop eating when you're bored. So I never really had to think much about that. I wasn't one to eat particularly when I was bored, but a lot of people do. And yesterday I had a mindset call with a client of mine, and it was about that very issue. So she's given me permission not use both her situation and her story in order to illustrate the point. So we got on a call, and she's a nutrition client of mine. So if you want to learn more about that, just go to weightlossbypete.com/services. I have a strictly nutrition program that you can do from anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter where you live, whether you're here on Long Island, in New York, in the United States, or Europe, Australia, wherever, I can work with you. But anyway, she had a lot of trouble in recent weeks staying on track. And one of the reasons that she brought up on the call was that she's finding that the worst is when she's at work, she'll go to work prepared. So she'll bring a healthy lunch, she'll bring healthy snacks, and you think, okay, she's obviously setting herself up for success, which she was. But unfortunately, she just wasn't able to stay on track. She was finding that particularly to do for work, she would go to the vending machine across the hall and pick up a pack of Skittles or candy or something in the vending machine, and she'd just go to town on it when she was bored. So I figured there was more to the story than that, because if you come prepared, it's one thing if you have absolutely nothing on you and you're starving and there may not be a healthy situation within the vicinity of your office. Perhaps I'd be able to understand that, but she was coming to work prepared. So I knew there was something more to it than just boredom. So I asked her, well, has anything changed for you in your life, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, whatever? And she'd mentioned that at the beginning of the year, she had gotten wind through the grapevine at her company that her company is thinking of downsizing this year and that her department is going to be one of the first to go. So it's not like they're going to get fired tomorrow, but it's very possible that within the first or second quarter of 2018, the year we're in now, that she will be fired. So she's very stressed out about it. As you can imagine, most people would be. She actually loves her job. She enjoys the people she works with. She doesn't want to go anywhere else because she hates that onboarding process. Even if you're making good money and you have a high up position, often it takes 3 to 6 months for you to get somewhat acclimated to the tasks associated with that position. So she's very upset about it. And then I asked her, have you been putting your resume out there? Have you been looking into other things? Because it seems like it's pretty inevitable. If it's coming down through the grapevine, obviously a decision maker has made it known, and they also made it known that they didn't have much of a problem. They wanted you guys to kind of know so you can start preparing to go elsewhere if this department is going to be eradicated. And she said no. And she said she's been very stubborn about it, and that when she's not focusing on something, so when she's not working on something at that moment, when she's at home and she's not doing something, whether it's with her husband, her mother lives with her as well, whatever, she has a lot of issue not eating junk. Like, even if it's not in the house, she'll go out and get it. So obviously I picked up on what this was. And I think we've all been there at some point in our lives. And that is when something, whether it's unpleasant or it's just stressful, pops up, we all like to, and I'm guilty of this as much as anybody, we all like to put our heads in the sand and pretend everything's going to be okay when we know intuitively that it's not. And we know also that we should be taking some steps, to move forward in a better direction. But for whatever the reason, we feel like we have to stay where we're at, even though whatever it is inevitably going to end. So in her case, it's her job. In someone else's case, it might be a relationship. It may not even be that you're losing something. For instance, and this is something I've been guilty of the last few days, and I'm more than open to admitting it. I'm going to be moving in the next few weeks, and I'm starting to get overwhelmed with all the crap we have to do. Now, we're lucky that we found the place very far in advance. In the past, we used to kind of squander our way into finding something last minute. often because we didn't have much of an option. But we found a place a couple of months back. We just put the security deposit down this weekend, and we're trying to figure out, what do we need to buy? What do we need to do both here and at our new place, so that we can be as ready as possible and the move can be as easy as possible. Unfortunately, that takes a lot of planning and also takes some money, both expected and unexpected money. And that's been freaking me out a lot. So I've been getting off task. I've been distracting myself. One of the ways that I like to distract myself, not with food per se, but I have an Xbox One. I like playing sports video games like Madden, the NBA 2K series. And so I'll pop one of those in and I'll like stay hooked on it for hours sometimes. And it'll often be all I do when I'm not working or I don't have something I actually have to focus on doing. So I've been called on about that a bunch by my girlfriend, and it's obviously something that I need to work on. And, hopefully in the last couple of times we've talked about it, I've been more attentive and proactive and not as aloof. But a lot of people are like this in a lot of different areas of their lives. And yeah, obviously for her, it's stressful. If you're going to be laid off at some point in the near future, it's coming. You have a little bit of a window. Intuitively, you think, okay, let's get the resume up to date. Let's get it out there. And let's find a position of a similar compensation, similar skill set, what have you. But for a lot of fair, they don't want to have to put themselves through the anxiety. But the weird thing is, when you actually start to confront the issue or the issues at hand, at first, yes, it may feel a little overwhelming and you may get freaked out. But the more steps you take and the more you think about it, the more you realize it's really not all that bad, that you can plan and you can take action to improve your situation, so that if, in her case, she's leaving one situation that's inevitably going to end and working her way into another, she knows she has time. She's not getting fired tomorrow. So she can work on her resume this week. Maybe next week she can start putting it out in the field. Maybe the following week someone will call her back and they'll set up an interview and she'll find the time to get in there and have it. And before you know it, she may get a better position that actually, I'm sure she feels like she's, that she's needed at her position, but even needed more so at this new one. And this may be the position that she stays at for 10, 20, 30 years. You never know. Obviously, the place she's at now is not that. So obviously, there's a lot of stress and uncertainty involved. The job market's never a fun place to be in. You never know how quickly or how long it's going to take. So it would behoove you to get out there. But it's the same with any situation, guys. If you find that you're bored and you're eating, often it's due to the fact that there's something stressing you out, that when you're not focusing and you have tunnel vision on something, your mind is racing about something that's making you anxious and you don't want to confront it. So rather than actually sitting back, kind of surrendering and working your way through the problem, trying to figure out, okay, this is where I'm at. This is probably what's going to happen. What can I do to make it as smooth as possible, to make this transition in my life, whether, like I said, in her case, it's a job, whether you're moving on from a relationship, whether in my case, it's just moving to a new place, whatever the case may be, confronting it head on is always the best antidote, because then instead of turning to junk food that'll give you a temporary dopamine release, instead, you're going to be putting yourself in a better position to succeed. And then if you're looking to lose weight and improve your health and continue to make the healthy lifestyle changes necessary, then your chances of falling off the wagon are slim to none, because not only are you being proactive in your health, but in her case, she's being proactive with her career. And in your case, it can be a relationship. In my case, it can be moving, whatever it is. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope you found this motivational. So do me a favor. If you like this video, if you like this podcast, please click the subscribe button down below. And I wanted to give you one other opportunity. So if you like this message and you're going to subscribe to the channel, then I think you should also join my free community on Facebook. It's called the Permanent Weight Loss Community. Basically, it's for folks who have 25 or more pounds to lose. They're looking to either avoid, prevent, or reverse a chronic condition. And examples are type 2 diabetes, obesity, heart disease, various forms of cancer. If something like that runs in your family, often if you adopt some healthy lifestyle habits, you can actually either prevent those genes from activating, or you can even change those genes so that it's never even an issue in the first place. Or let's say you want to avoid weight loss surgery, you're kind of at your wit's end, then join us. I personally lost 100 pounds. I have 7 different fitness and nutrition certifications, and I've been working in the health and fitness industry for 10 years. I'm going to give you all the knowledge, all the motivation you need to succeed. So just go to the description below, click on the link. There's 3 questions that I ask every prospective member to fill out. If you answer them adequately, you'll be added into the group, and I look forward to having you there. So again, thanks so much for watching or listening. This is Pete Weintraub, permanent weight loss specialist, signing off. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.